hello, my friends, and welcome to another session of Rising Above with John O'Leary. And this month's book of the month is a special one. It's one that means a lot to me, and I'm quite convinced it's going to mean a lot to you as you get to know a little bit more about the book and a little bit more about the authors. The book this month is called Overwhelming Odds, and the authors with us today are Susan and Denny O'Leary. That last name may sound familiar to you. It's certainly familiar to me. These are not only incredible authors, they're also incredible people and wonderful parents. So Mom and Dad, Susan and Denny O'Leary, welcome to the program.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Well, I'm thrilled you're here, and we wanted to find out a little bit of why we should consider reading this book this month. So besides it being your book, tell us, why don't we start with Mom? Mom, why'd you write the book Overwhelming Odds?
We experienced a lifetime journey, situations along the way due to your accident, John, and the aftermath of that, and the reaction of friends and family, and the support of all these people, and the intermingling of all these people, and the relationships we made that impacted our life so dramatically. We really wanted to have something for you, your siblings, our dear friends, our family, to be able to hang on to.
Denny, what was the most surprising aspect of writing this book? What did you learn about yourself or your family or your story that maybe surprised you?
I learned that the story was so worthy of being told. It was a thought that I would reach closure over the situation, which was not totally happy, but was miraculous nonetheless. And I thought that writing the book and giving it to our friends would cause me to come to grips with the reality of what had happened.
Perfect. And Susan, Mom, what story within the book Overwhelming Odds is one that right after you wrote it, right after Denny helped craft it with you, you realized, oh my gosh, this is something that we haven't talked about in years, and it's amazing.
You know, John, I would have to say so many of them. The one story is when I first saw you after you were burned, and your question to me was, Mommy, am I going to die? And my response to you was, do you want to die, John? And you said no. And with that, I said, then you're going to have to work as hard as you ever have worked. You're going to have to take the hand of Jesus and Daddy and me, and as you're out on that soccer field, go running as hard as you can to fight this. And it took me years to realize the depth of the meaning of that, and that it was, in fact, not my words, but the words of the Spirit that really directed me to respond to you that way. That stands out among many, many other stories that we faced with you during that time.
Denny, how has the publishing, the writing, the release, and the feedback from the book changed you?
It's made me feel very lucky and fortunate to have the very positive appeal of the book to our friends, neighbors, and then to some 65,000 people at this stage. It was a book that it only took 30 days to write. It took a chapter a day, and then in a month we had it finished. We went over with Susan, went over with fine tooth comb, and made all the half-hearted stories full-hearted, and gave the book its character.
So the book starts off as a dream. You write it in 30 days. You print 200 copies, and the number, just so the folks hear it at home, listening to this and watching it, 65,000 readers. It's also inspired the person doing the interview today, that's me, to become a speaker. And through Rising Above, we've had the ability to be in front of a couple 100,000 additional folks because of a burn story. And so, Mom, final question goes to you. What do you really hope that people see or hear or experience or feel when they read this book?
Well, John, I think what I would hope now, what I have come to find out with so many people, is that our story has inspired other people and to continue and to go on in the face of their burn, whatever their burn is, whatever their scar is. It was not initially written for that as such, but it has come to evolve to that point, and I have had, as your dad has, constant responses and continual comments, phone calls, letters from people who are so touched and people that feel like they can face the difficulties they have to face after reading this book and seeing that a uh, normal, as we can possibly be, family can face such a horrendous situation and come out of it with greater faith, greater friends, and believing that life is good and God is good.
Well, that's a great way to leave it. The book, my friends, this month, June 2013, is Overwhelming Odds. It's the inspirational story of 9-year-old John O'Leary's miraculous and triumphant fight to survive burns on 98% of his body. But what I'm convinced is, as you get through the book, it's not about the authors sitting here with me today. It's not about the boy on the front of the cover. It's about you. It's about your walk. It's about the possibility of your life going forward. So I'm convinced you will love this book, Mom and Dad. Love you both very much. I appreciate you doing this book, and I appreciate you raising 6 kids and loving us in spite of the many trips and accidents along the way.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, John. We love you.
My friends, join us this month for Overwhelming Odds. At Rising Above, we strive to ignite the possibility of your life.